And we are back after a little hiatus. We know we missed a lot of news from the GOAT, Tom Brady retiring, coaching controversies in the Washington's new terrible name, and at their god-awful stadium. But none of that matters right now because we are now talking about the big game. I am your resident Homer Rams fan, Dangernation, and joining me are two people that want me and the Rams to burn at the stake. Tyson and Ellie. Boys, how the hell are you doing today?
Hey, not bad. Ellie, how are you doing, man?
Dude, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing good, man. I'm on cloud 9 right now. Tomorrow's gonna be a hell of a game. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah. So look, I don't want to hop around too much here, but I gotta ask. Last night you were telling us that you found some pretty inexpensive tickets to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, to the big game. Make sure that we're using the correctly.
We can say Super Bowl. Fuck
yeah, man. Yeah, NFL's not coming after this production.
Yeah, they can have the box I have here in my office. Anyways, so what happened? Why aren't you going?
So I was talking to you guys a little bit earlier, but like I like to peruse the subreddit NFL there, and I saw an article that basically said like, hey, no one's buying tickets. Like, they're too expensive. The prices that they originally had them at are too expensive for the LA area, which is Inglewood, which is not a good, wealthy neighborhood. And they are also saying that like Cincinnati Bengal fans are like the poorest fans too, or something crazy. So like no one was buying them. I guess they thought it was going to be like a super corporate event. Checked out the prices. And I checked them out when the game got announced too. So nosebleeds were like anywhere from 10 to 12 grand. We're talking like way up at the top. And VIP tickets were like 60 grand. Today, those nosebleeds are at 2,500, and those VIP tickets are 6 grand right now.
That's crazy. I don't really get that. I don't really understand that.
I don't either, man. And
I mean, fair, I don't think Cincinnati was like, this is the year we're going to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like as a Cardinals fan, like I guess that's a bad example too. So, but as a Rams fan, I'm sure you're like, okay, look, this might be our year. I might set aside a little bit of money to go do something like that. I don't know if Cincinnati quite thought they were there this year, so I can understand their fans. And plus, they got to fly from Ohio to LA.
LA.
Right,
dude.
Like they can't afford to eat out there, man. Like they live off Skyline Chili in Ohio. Like
the parking alone, it's going to cost. I mean, that's going to be insane.
Well, it's not. The parking's like over $100, but the real problem that I ran into was no one was going to willingly drive me there, and I offered like friends, family, like hundreds of dollars. Didn't get a single person to like, Dominic, we love you, but there's no way in hell like we're doing that. We're going through that. And yeah, man, like it's stuck. It is in the middle of Inglewood too. And it's just a nightmare. I don't know, man.
Bro, I drove by that construction on that every day for work for a couple years. And it's not in a good area. When I say that, I mean it's not in a good area, like traffic wise. It is
logistically,
it's where the 105 and the 110 kind of slam together. Man, it's not fun. If I live there, even if you're taking a Uber, you're going to be screwed.
Oh no, dude. Yeah, the Uber there is probably going to be hundreds of dollars, and I wouldn't even be surprised an Uber to leave is going to be like over 1,000.
Bro, like no lie, you might just be better off. Like it might be more cost effective to rent a limo, right? Then you can drink in the back too. If you're gonna sit in traffic for 4 hours there and 4 hours on the way back, like I assume you're not driving because you plan on getting fucked up at the
no. It's definitely more of a logistics things where I'm just like, dude, there's just no way I'm gonna drive there, dude. And plus the main parking area, like around the stadium, is completely booked for the media. So they have, you're literally, so they have like 8 separate parking structures, literally miles away.
And you get shuttled in.
Yeah, shuttled in, or you walk in or something. Like,
it's brutal.
But yeah, man, it's just like y'all didn't really plan this. I don't know. Maybe it's a little wild.
Well, dude, for a minute there was some rumors about even, I think this was like a month ago, maybe, or 2 months ago,
Oh, it's going to be to the Cowboy
in the
Stadium.
Cowboy Stadium, just in case if these weird COVID protocols kind of popped up. But notice how they kind of got rid of those mandates, conveniently right before the Super Bowl. They kind of
they got rid of those real quick. Plus, like other controversies that's happening with them right now, like LA's beautification of the area, where they're getting rid of all the homeless in the area. They literally got them on a bus and just moved them.
Bro, they drop them off in Pasadena, South Pasadena, like legit, like pick them up and drop them off. I used to live in downtown, and yeah, you got to move them somewhere. They're going to be, or just be laying on top of each other.
Yeah, crazy. And the one last thing that we got going on at the Super Bowl that was leading up, Eric Dickerson, if you guys aren't aware of who he is, he was probably the most infamous Rams player behind Kurt Warner. He was basically the offense in the 80s. They only offered him nosebleed tickets, which is very strange with the ticket situation right now. And this guy was quite literally the face of your franchise for about a decade. Like how was this not like a PR slam dunk? You know what I mean? Just put him in some box seats, get him over with some other studs, like
put him on the bench.
Put him on the floor. Like
he's been vocally upset with the Rams organization over the past years too. Like this was your opportunity to reset that, because and not to undersell the way Danger just described Eric Dickerson, but let's not forget that he's also probably top 4 running backs in the history of
all time.
Ever play. So like he is the LA Rams. Like he was the LA Rams.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. He should be on the bench. Like he should be out there with the coin toss. You know what I mean?
They should.
Like, that's what you should be doing here.
Seriously, and it's also probably because people the corporateness of the Rams are probably upset with him, because he was very vocal about the design changes and like how terrible and lazy they look. And any redesign you see nowadays is, it just seems like there's less effort put into it, and there's like 2 colors. Like this is a cool logo. Like I'll give it that. But that LA with the horn around it, dude, I was like, that logo sucks, dude.
I actually kind of like their uniforms.
I do too.
I like that. I actually like that. LA. I don't know. That's just me. I hear what you're saying though. I understand why people don't like it.
I just don't like the LA logo itself. It looks super lazy. Like this is old school, at least kind of modernized, which sure. But I
think maybe they're just trying to create their own identity and get away from the St. Louis, the St. Louis Rams. You know what I mean? That probably is what it is.
Yeah, with I know what you mean. Like with the navy and the gold and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. When you think of Rams, you think of Kurt Warner. You think of the blue and the yellow and those classic uniforms. They probably just want to step away from that a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know, boys, but man, so let's just jump into it. Let's just get right into the Super Bowl itself. And the first question I want to ask you guys is, how did we get here? How did we get the Rams versus, of all people, the Bengals? And Ellie, man, how about you start it off with it, man?
Honestly, I'm not too shocked. I was kind of the mind at the beginning of the year that Sean McVay was going to be on the hot seat if he didn't end up getting to the Super Bowl and probably winning it this year. They've been running their experiment there for quite a long time. You had your guy in Jared Goff. Over the offseason, you made the massive trade to pick up Matt Stafford. This was the year that you were all in, right? And I obviously have a bias because my favorite team's in the NFC West, but outside of maybe the Packers and the Buccaneers, the Rams really did have one of the best shots to make it there. And over the course of the season, they also made moves to adjust. Right, they didn't just lose Robert Woods and just roll with it. Right, Tyson, were you gonna hop in?
No, I was listening.
I saw you pointing at something. I was like, oh shit.
Oh,
No, but look, so you lost Robert Woods and you went out and got a guy in Odell Beckham Jr. And yeah, I know that Odell has had his issues in the past, but the guy's a superstar, and he came here, he shut his mouth, got his work done, did what he was supposed to do, and he looks like Odell Beckham Jr. again a little bit. He doesn't look like the guy is making these one-handed catches and primetime games, but he's going over 100 yards, getting touchdowns when he's needed, and he adds an offensive threat to the team. And again, like they didn't sit and just try and make the best of their situation. They went out and got Von Miller too, right? They got guys that were washed or that were supposedly washed, and they said that my chips are in, and we're just gonna go all in this season. And just to get to the last point, you kind of were talking about how Tyson and Ellie don't necessarily support you, right? We're in a shitty situation because like we love Matt Stafford, man, or at least I do. I think Tyson's on the same page with me, but like I love Matt Stafford, dude. Like it's hard to not root for a guy with that kind of heart. We literally have seen him win games with a broken collarbone. He goes out there and he's had a shitty career and played in Detroit. Like as much as it sucks, and I don't want the Rams to win, if Matt Stafford pulls it off, like there's a little bit of solace there for me.
I think the Rams are going to win.
Yeah,
I'm not too excited about it. I'm not going to be happy, but if there's some silver lining, yeah, it's Matt Stafford. I totally agree with that. He definitely deserves it. It's just built in my DNA to hate LA teams. Even when I was in LA, like I literally hated the Lakers. I hated the Dodgers. I just couldn't deal.
If they were St. Louis, would you, like I honestly think I'd hate them a little less. Like what about you, Tyson?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Dude, I was a huge Rams fan. It during that whole Super Bowl run when they were, with Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce, all those dudes, like Marshall Faulk. I was a huge Rams fan. I mean, you and I watched a Super Bowl together. Like, we were rooting for the Rams. So it's just strange. It just feels like a whole different franchise almost. I don't know. Do you feel that way, Danger?
Oh, dude, it totally is. And I don't know, man. I kind of lost track of my train of thought there, but I mean, I've said it before on the show and even on my other channel, Sports Capitalist. There, nice little name drop there. But I'm not a fan of the city. I'm not even a fan of the state. But I like these are teams I like legitimately grew up with. Not so much the Rams, but like Lakers, Dodgers, and Los Angeles Angels. But no, when I was there, like and into football, like I wanted a team. I was on that like wagon where I was like, yeah, bring a team to LA. You know what I mean? So I don't have to root for the 49ers. Like because the other half of my family and the other half of my family was like, well, why not Chargers? I'm like, come on now.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, nobody's looking at the Chargers right now.
Yeah, man. I feel bad. Don't get me wrong. And Philip Rivers and when Vincent Jackson was there with Antonio Gates, like, yeah, man, like that was a star-studded team. It was literally their coaching staff just holding them back for like a decade. But I was like, man, let's like, yeah, man, when when teams like threatened to come to LA, I was like, bring them. And prodigal son return, like with the Rams, I was like, awesome. This, became a Rams fan right there and then. I'm not gonna lie about that. But yeah, I'm happy for it, man. It's funny because everything on paper should say Rams win, but
could never.
That has been said against the Bengals for like, I don't know, this whole season.
So I can see how the Rams got here. I mean, it was a little bit of a shaky road. I mean, I followed the Rams like the whole year. Cardinals whooped up on them. They got whooped up a few times. They even, they got beat in that last game. They could have lost the division. I mean, if the Cardinals look, not to take anything away from the Rams, but if the Cardinals didn't suck ass and weren't so anti-clutch, like they just cannot win games they need to win, you might not be looking at a Rams Super Bowl here because it's completely changed. They don't win the division. They have to go on the road. That's their path to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, it was up and down for the Rams throughout the year. And they kind of just fell in this perfect spot where they got done when they needed to get done. When it comes to the Bengals, I have no fucking idea how they got here. They won the division. I didn't even realize at the time when they won that game. Holy shit, they won the division.
I was like, wait, this game was important.
What?
Yeah,
you know, and then they win. They could have easily lost that Raiders game in the playoffs. I mean, not to say that they deserved to lose, but that came down to the last play. It was a flip of a coin. They could have went either way. So they've just managed to find a way to win. They were getting absolutely destroyed. We all sort of closed our laptops during that during the game in Kansas City. We thought it was over. I mean, there's nobody who didn't watch the first couple drives and be like, this game is going to be close. No, everyone thought the game was over, and somehow he found a way. So I don't think you can really. It could be 28-3 at the end of the third quarter, and they might have a chance. They still might have a chance, the Bengals.
Yeah, and here's the other thing too. Like, I don't take anything that Tyson said offensively about the Cardinals not capitalizing in those moments and putting the Rams benefiting from the situation. Right, that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah. Your team is supposed to capitalize and take advantage of those opportunities. Yeah. Because they had home field advantage or whatever it was, they were able to win their game against the Cardinals. And then they went and took care of clutch situation advantage. Went to the Rams against the Buccaneers, right? Miss a coverage, cost them the game. It literally cost Tampa the game. So those are the little things that that made Tom Brady so impressive throughout his career. Not to fanboy or anything here, but it's those little things, the situational football moments where if you can properly execute, Matt Stafford's ability to get up and spike the ball with no timeouts left to kick that game-winning field goal against the Bucs, that is a game changer for your entire season, right? That moment could have been the momentum that propelled you where you're at right now, right? And those situational advantages, those are things that you necessarily can't account for. Those are those heart things that you can't statistically account for. So when you win those, if you're able to overcome a 9-sack game, right? You're able to overcome a 20-3 deficit, right? Imagine Eli Apple doesn't make the stop right before half on Tyreek Hill, and it's all of a sudden a 27-3 game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know that Cincinnati's right. Like those kinds of things make the entire difference. They swing the entire momentum. As an Arizona Cardinals fan, James Harrison doesn't have a 99-yard pick six right before the half.
By the way,
right where there was blocking the back, and I'm pretty sure he went out of bounds. But anyways,
don't you hurt me like that? Don't you bring that up again?
Right, those 14-point swings, those are the things that winning teams capitalize on. And you're here. Tomorrow's going to be interesting, man. Like there's a scenario I can see this defensive line for the Rams getting like 12-13 sacks. I can honestly see some shit like that happening.
Dude, like with all the pressure that Aaron Donald's going to do, it's just going to free up Reeder and Von Miller in the back. It's going to be a gross game.
Let's bring this game a little bit back into some DFS talk here, because at the end of the day, this is a DFS channel, and we'll try to at least talk about something. I got to ask you, Danger. You on our show today, you commented in the live chat.
Yeah, why wasn't I invited to that show, dude? What the hell? If anyone knew anything about like DFS, at least for the Rams, it's me.
Well, that's why we're talking to you now, because
right on. Appreciate it.
I wanted to form my own opinion, then I wanted to double check it with you, because
what's up?
In my opinion, Darrell Henderson coming back takes the snaps out of Sony Michel.
Yeah,
Sony Michel is not getting as many snaps, and Darrell Henderson even takes snaps from Cam Akers. Yeah. Am I off on that?
You're not off at all. Like, so I caught that news a little bit right before I watched your show, and we record our show on Thursday's night, so we thought he was out.
Yeah,
like I was like, oh, cool, you know, but all that. With all this being said, and how like just it's scary, man, because running backs coming back from an injury, it never looks good. If you want any proof, like again, look at Derrick Henry. He was running the ball, but he wasn't looking good. Furthermore, look at Cam Akers. He's looking decent at best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have much hope of Henderson because he has been beat up the rest of the season. And man, like with everything that Sony Michel has done for you this season, I don't see how he's not the starting running back during this game. Yeah, I'm going to just echo what you said, and I've said it plenty of times before. It's great that Cam Akers is back. What a heartfelt story, coming back from his injury. Great, but we're talking about like winning games here, and we're talking about the biggest game right now. I don't see how there's a scenario where Sony Michel isn't getting the majority of the carries. And I think one game he did in the last two when Cam Akers came back. I think it's because that's when Cam Akers went out for a shoulder injury. He did come back, and it was something like that. But
in my opinion, it's like Darrell Henderson has been he's been a great player for you when healthy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not discrediting his football ability at all.
But my opinion on it is, look, you got Cam Akers almost fumbled away the season. He's he looks good. Everyone's like so high on him. Median projections from all the sites are giving him 17, 18 fantasy points. Yeah. And dude, the guy hasn't scored more than 10 fantasy points. Why are we giving him all this credit? And there's no offense to him, but let's see something happen before we start locking this guy in the captain spot. Let's actually see him do something. So in my opinion, seeing that quote from Sean McVay, where basically he stated, it's going to be a three-headed monster sort of situation. We've got Darrell back and Sony. He said Darrell and Sony. So I don't know. I'm looking into that a little bit. But I just think that Henderson will end up with at least the same amount or more than any of the other running backs. And that's just my bold prediction. I could be wrong.
This is what I think what's going to happen. Henderson's going to be for short yardage. Michel is going to be more versatile for like these play actions and for screenplays, and I think Cam Akers is going to be the traditional, run your gap running back right now. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't know. Maybe like I'm obviously not on the field watching these guys like practice.
Yeah, that's the hard part. We don't know. This could all be a decoy. This could all be a decoy. He could come out, he could dress, he could warm up, and he could sit on the bench. We've seen it happen so many times this year with running backs and injured players, specifically running backs, where there's guys that come out. Thanks Andy Reid. Thanks for some of these coaches that just kind of fuck with us. And it could be a situation, and it is what it is. But I honestly think that he's kind of got a good chance.
I have a question. Like, is Eli Apple supposed to be covering Cooper Kupp tomorrow?
I think so.
Is that the DB matchup that we're looking at?
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, I don't know. I had no reason to even consider anybody in the backfield for the St. Louis, the LA Rams, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because that is an additional running attack. A 7-yard completion to Kupp is just as guaranteed, or more so guaranteed, than a 3-yard rush. Like, you have a better chance of connecting with him for those 7-8 yard completions. It's kind of like just another running play for them. So why use your running backs?
Yeah, I agree. And look, man, we don't have most of the season when we're talking about DFS on our shows, we've been able to find some decent value under 1,000 or under $1,500, $2K.
Yeah, there's no Juju Smith.
Right. And that's not happening this week. So like, if Darrell Henderson gets you 0, but he allows you to play Uzoma over Matt Gay, and Uzoma scores more, right? That's the difference between taking the contest down. So I guess that's kind of where I'm looking at it from a DFS perspective. But like, Darrell Henderson, he'll get involved in the pass game too. And if you really think that he's going to get the like short yardage situations, that probably implies goal line situations.
Yeah.
So at 1,600, if he gets 3 carries for 2 touchdowns, shit, he could win the MVP, Super Bowl MVP with that. Like, so I don't know. I don't hate it, man. I'm gonna be playing him a little bit, but I don't know. I'm gonna be just whatever I have to do to play Cooper Kupp. Like, that's pretty much what I'm doing.
And this is what you have to do. I mean, he's $1,600. So if he was 4K or 5K, we wouldn't even be talking about it. He wouldn't be my player pool. He's $1,600. And all you need is a random play that scores a touchdown, and you might end up with Cooper Kupp at captain. You might have a unique lineup. Yeah, it's gonna be 9% owned.
Yeah, if you guys watch either one of our shows, you know that you need to start Cooper Cup, so like whether it's captain or not. It's complete
Yeah.
financial suicide if
Yes,
you
exactly.
make a sign if you do a lineup without Cooper Cup. There's just no way you're winning at all. Like I
Well,
don't know what
now you're
more we need to convince you.
now,
Like,
now you're making me want to do a couple lamps without him.
yeah, good show.
Because
Show us how that goes, dude.
Every single time we bet our house on something, and we're like, "Yep, that's gonna happen." Well, how could it not happen? It happens.
Yeah. I don't, man. It's gonna be a wild game, but my favorite like captain is probably gonna be Odell Beckham, man. If you don't think he's gonna just go balls to the wall this game after everything that's happened to him this season from switching over, oh man, especially with a baby on the way and all that, like.
So what's the implications of that? What are the implications of two wide receivers having a baby on the way, potentially due on the Super Bowl day?
Wait, who's the second?
Isn't it Van Jefferson?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Oh, I didn't know that.
So I mean, two dudes.
I mean, yeah. Don't play Van Jefferson first of all.
Is there a chance that they miss the game?
No, dude. No. You know they're not going to.
It's just it's a question. I mean, I saw some reports that he said that he's going to be there. So who knows?
Yeah. Honestly, man, like I get the Odell Beckham narrative with the baby, but and you know, with everything that's happened this season, this could be his game. I think I'm more concerned about Cooper Cup. Like he's one of those guys that I could just see taking over the game from a pure determination aspect. You know, those guys who have, like, there's a handful of players like you watch in sports that just have that X factor with you know, just being able to take over a game with their own determination. Like Kobe Bryant would do that shit. I'm not comparing Cooper Cup to Kobe Bryant, but like I could see. Well, you know, we don't do those kind of comparisons until you have fucking rings to have the discussion first, right? Like, so if he goes out and has 250 yards and 3 touchdowns, then sure, we can start having some conversations. But that's something I could see Cup doing.
Yeah, well, I guess we could just turn your speakers down. Oh, my bad.
No, you're good. We were getting some feedback.
We were. My bad. Then let's just move over. Like, what do each of these teams here have? What do they have to do to win?
I think Cincinnati, if they choose to blitz at all, they're going to be screwed. I think, because Matt Stafford's pretty good, like the best in the league against the blitz. So I don't know, man. There's no way. I don't think that Cincinnati's going to stop the Rams. I don't think that's going to happen. The only way that Cincinnati can win this is if they continue to crush with their offense, and then the Rams just need to beat themselves. Like Stafford, pick or fumble, like, and I want to see that happen. But that's kind of the path to victory if you're the Bengals. I really do think so.
So for Cincinnati, offensively, they're going to need to do one of two things. They're going to need to utilize their superior, just insanely deep wide receiver core to run quick slants and to try and take some of that immediate pressure from that defensive front off of Joe Burrow. His offensive line is not going to be able to hold up all game if they're running 3 to 5 step drops the entire game. Now, there is one interesting stat. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but Joe Burrow, when he runs 5 wide, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So I would expect to see a little bit more of that tomorrow as well. And again, that's going to help alleviate some of the pressure that he's going to get from the defensive line. Now, they're either going to need to do that, or they're going to need to get Joe Mixon going. Again, having a defensive line that's going to over pursue on the pass rush, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, Aaron Donald, all these guys are extremely insane pass rushers. So you can take advantage of that by having them exceed their gap and getting in screen passes, draw plays. And just that's how you slow the defensive front. Offensively, those are the things that I expect to see from the Bengals. Defensively, they're going to need to do really what they did against the Chiefs in the second half. They're going to need to focus on playing a soft coverage where they're keeping all the wide receivers in front of them. They can't let Cooper Kupp get behind them. If you can try and just limit the amount of touchdowns you're giving up defensively, I think you're going to be able to hang around in this game. We saw it with Kansas City. When you start kicking field goals or just having drives that stall out against the Bengals, they have enough firepower on offense to get back in the game. So that's really what I'm going to expect to see there. And I think if they can keep everything in front of them, force Matt Stafford to get down to a second or third read, they might be able to start getting some pressure from the defensive line. Because it's going to be stressful for their secondary, man. They're going to have to keep that the big plays from happening because the Rams have the best pass offensive line in the league. So it's going to be difficult getting past them. That's what I see from Cincinnati. I think you can kind of just like say the opposite of whatever that is for for the Rams, and that's how they'll win. But I'm curious to see how Cincinnati comes out here because no, Joe Burrow, he's a confident motherfucker. I want to see what kind of swag they come out with.
You just can't afford, if you're the Rams, to let the Bengals hang around.
Yep.
You just can't. You got to shut. It needs to be 42-3. Like they need to absolutely come out. If they have a lead, they cannot. We saw it. You already talked about it, Ellie. We saw it in that Chiefs game. Like when they didn't get that touchdown at the half there. I mean, they're letting them stick around, and they're building up their confidence. Joe Burrow is not going to be frazzled. He got sacked 9 times, came out. No problem. I'll win. Most quarterbacks would be freaking the fuck out. So if they let him hang around, I think they can make it. They can sneak back a game.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, like this should just be a Rams win, man. Especially what you guys already said about their O-line. Again, man, like Donald is just going to be double teamed all night, just putting on just so much pressure. And again, Reeder or Miller in the back are just going to fly on through. And shit, man, even Gaines can probably make some plays this game. Like it's going to be a crazy.
What are the odds? What are the odds for Eric Weddle MVP?
I don't even know if DK Sportsbook would have them.
They do.
Do they?
Yeah, hold on. I can look this up real quick.
Jesus.
It would be worth putting a buck or two on that.
Bro, as soon as I saw the rushing line for Cam Akers, like I didn't even talk about it on our show earlier. I was betting it like while it came up.
No, totally. You bet it and then you're like 63, was it 63 and a half or something like that?
Something dumb. Like he hasn't rushed for over like 45.
His high was 55. I think against the Cardinals.
And yeah, you get like you start the game with 15 yards against the Cardinals. So
yeah, we should talk about some of these prop bets. So I think
get it started, man. While I try to find the.
So it looks like Stafford rushing TD is plus 800.
Dude, I love that one. I actually
like anytime score. That's pretty nice. First team score plus 222 or 2200. That's not bad. I mean, I always like taking one of the quarterbacks for that first score. But
is the Stafford rushing touchdown plus 800? That's anytime.
That should be anytime touchdown. I'm assuming
that's pretty nice odds for anytime touchdown. That might just be worth it in itself. I mean, what $5 pays out? 40 something.
So MVP odds: Stafford plus 100, Burrow plus 225. That's actually not bad. Because if the Bengals win, he will win the MVP.
Yeah, for sure.
Cooper Kupp plus 600, Aaron Donald plus 1,400, Jamar Chase plus 1,800.
I also don't hate Aaron Donald one. Just because of the game scenario that I've said a few times already.
3 sacks and a fumble recovery or something.
Oh, dude, exactly. If he's literally if he's like, again, if it's a 10 sack game and he's 5 of them and he recovers a fumble into the end zone, dude, done.
And I don't even know that it needs to be that crazy because, in my opinion, I think this is going to hit the under. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I want it to be a fun game. I think this hits the under, and any of the big plays aren't going to be as prevalent as we've seen in the playoffs recently. So every a couple sacks and one big turnover, that could win you the MVP.
Yeah. So I found the line. I had to look deep. But Eric Weddle is plus 30,000 for the MVP vote. So
Oh man,
Screw it, man. Put $100 on him, man. Like,
It's burning money. I mean, shit,
Yeah,
we're
right.
playing Showdown. I mean, we're burning money anyway, so might as well.
I don't know, man. Plus 2,800 is Odell Beckham for MVP. I don't mind that. That's interesting too.
That's pretty
Von
interesting.
Miller, 4,000.
Von Miller won one already,
Yeah.
Thanks to Cam Newton, right?
bro.
Yeah,
that was
sure.
just a good old fashioned ass open, and it made it even worse because it was the Cardinals should have been there. They just didn't get their asses kicked by Carolina the week before.
Oh yeah, exactly. What else is jumping out to you, Ellie? Any other props?
Need to pull them up right now. The big one that I'm on is the under on Cam Akers rushing. Honestly, it doesn't look like they've updated on DraftKings Sportsbook since this afternoon, at least, with the Darrell Henderson news. So I think you can take the unders on both guys, to be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, 63.5. Jamar Chase. Oh, never mind. That's rushing. Joe Burrow, 10.5 is his over under on rushing. Joe Mixon.
He was at 3.5 earlier. That's interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did he get a 7-yard? That's insane. Joe Mixon is projected for less yards than Cam Akers, which is kind of interesting to me. Samaje Perine, 3.5 yards.
Oh, maybe I'm mixed up with Samaje Perine. That's crazy. 3.5 yards.
I want to see tomorrow what happens with Darrell Henderson. If they update and change the Sony Michel number, I'm just curious to see what they think because I kind of trust them more than anybody. And if Sony Michel is still hanging around that 20 and he's like at 4 or 5 yards, that might change my opinion a little bit on Darrell Henderson when it comes to playing fantasy. But we'll see that. We'll see tomorrow.
They got Perine at 10.5 yards receiving. That's interesting too.
Receiving, that's interesting.
Novelty props. Do we like any of these like novelty bets?
I don't know. I usually don't.
Color of the Gatorade.
I think it's bullshit because somebody has to put the Gatorade in the fucking thing. Like you can't send a text. Like I just think there's some collusion there.
Yeah, that's an easy one to get paranoid about. So yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I'm looking at some of
this bet about will there be an octopus?
That's
that's a hockey thing?
No, it's you score a touchdown and you convert the 2-point. So like if Tyler Boyd catches the touchdown pass, he would also have to convert the 2-point. I'm pretty sure that's an octopus.
First I've
never heard of that. Any kick to hit the uprights plus 400? Yes.
Not with Matt Gay. Let's see, and Evan McPherson.
Jersey number of first touchdown scorer under 23.5 over 23.5. That's a little strange.
What's the odds?
Any non-QB to throw a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl is a 1,300 bet.
Odell.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
And what didn't Jamar Chase throw for one? Somebody on the Bengals threw for one, I thought.
Yeah, it might have been. Probably was a bunch of them, dude. They were on all kinds of quirky shit.
Dude, here's another one. Either QB to get sacked on their first offensive play, 2,500.
That's interesting.
Odell Beckham to score the first touchdown and to score the second touchdown. Yes, plus 8,000.
Where do you see that? Is that scores? TD scores, yeah.
It's under Super Bowl specials on DK.
Player to record first sack is pretty interesting. Got Aaron Donald at plus 350, Von Miller plus 400. Those are pretty decent odds, and it's not that high variance.
All right, let's look at a few more, and let's wrap it up.
Yeah, I really like I want to explain why I like the Matt Stafford rushing one, because two in the last 3 games he's had one where like the first 2 tries they try to run it in with their running back and they just weren't able to. Sean McVay's next play just seems to be like, fuck it, Stafford, you do it. So
yeah.
So I like that.
I'm trying to look at any of these anytime touchdown scores. If there's any like super high odds that jump out to me, I guess. I mean, there's a Ben Skowronek at plus 800, but I'd rather just take Matt Stafford. I think his odds changed a little bit. He's plus 650 now, anytime scorer.
That's still not
It's not
terrible.
bad. It's not bad.
I might take the over on his yards too at 280, 85.5. So I don't want to segue too soon. You guys got any other bets? Because I think this is a good transition into my prediction for the game.
All right, let's do it.
I'm good, man. Go for it.
Okay, so I think this is actually going to hit the over, and I've got the Rams winning 27 to 23. So I think you can actually take the over in this game. I know, Tyson, you were talking about the under. This is one of the first times in a long time that we've had two defenses that aren't ranked in the top 10, and both these offenses are pretty prolific. So I think if they can get going, we're going to see some points pretty quickly.
What do you think, Danger?
Yeah, I actually really like the 24 to 27 Rams, of course. Just Matt Gay kicking the
Game winner.
Game winner. Thank you.
I'm going 21-17 Bengals.
Get out of here, dude.
Look, I'm just contrarian. That's all. I honestly do think that the Rams should win and will win, but I think it could get interesting, man. We've seen some crazy shit this year in the NFL, specifically on these one single game slates. We've seen a lot of weird stuff happen.
Yeah, true.
So why not end the year with some weird stuff? We'll see. Yeah. But Danger, I am rooting for you though. If the Rams do win, I'll be happy for you.
Heck yeah, man! Appreciate it, dude.
And then I won't think about football for 5
months before the draft.
Yeah, then maybe we can start working on our new segment. We teach Danger NBA. This is
do it, man. I'm down. Hey, you got to tell me what games to watch.
Bro, like honestly, I'm gonna homer here for a second. Just start watching some Phoenix Suns basketball. I know I'm obviously a fanboy, but they're playing very technically sound basketball, very disciplined. If you want to learn what the sport is, like I've learned more just watching Chris Paul yell at people in the past like 20 games than I've learned from watching basketball anytime prior. Not that I was intently studying it, but they're playing technically sound sports. That's why I like Alabama. That's my bandwagon team as well. It's because I have enjoyment of the sport, right? And so like I like it when teams are able to play it at an elite level and not just garbage bullshit all the time that we see when like the Browns play the Bengals at any time but this year apparently. So watch some Suns basketball, and then honestly watch some Lakers, and you'll really understand what the difference is and the little technical stuff that teams are doing differently. I don't mean to be a dick, but it sticks out. That's why LeBron James is pissed. And Giannis Antetokounmpo, he literally brought Staples Center or Crypto.com Arena tumbling down and made LeBron James rethink what he was doing with his life like 3 days ago. So get into it, man.
What do you mean by that?
Bro, like what did Giannis have? He had like 54 points on like 20 shots. Like that's just insanely efficient. I think he shot like 83% for the game, and they won by like 30 points in LA. Yeah, so just embarrassed the Lakers. Anyways, that was my long rant. Watch the Suns, enjoy basketball. It's fun.
All right, guys. Well, thank you. Check out Sports Capitalist YouTube. Join their Discord. They have a breakdown video. Watch their video, and then watch our video, and we'll compare. We'll see who was right and who was wrong. How about that?
Dude, I'm down.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. We will see you. I don't know when the hell we'll see you. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll see you when we see you.
See you when we see you. All right, later, guys.
Later.